Attention passionate Detroit, Lions fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Detroit Lions' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Detroit Lions fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Detroit Lions fans. Let's get to the news in what could be one of the most significant moves of the NFL offseason. Whispers are swirling that the Denver Broncos may be considering trading Patrick Surtain II to the Detroit Lions. Yes, you heard that right. Surtain, the elite shutdown corner from Alabama, potentially heading to Detroit to bolster what has already been a formidable secondary. This rumor isn't just some idle chatter. It's rooted in the Broncos' current rebuild phase, their cap situation, and their desire to focus on their offensive line and other key areas. But what makes this potential trade so intriguing for Lions fans? Well, let me break it down for you because this move could truly reshape the NFC North and the Lions' trajectory toward another Super Bowl appearance. First, let's look at Surtain's recent performance. The guy has been nothing short of spectacular in 2025. Over 11 games, he's posted a PFF grade of 90. 2, a near-perfect score for a corner, allowing just 45% of passes his way to be caught and generating 26 tackles along with 2 interceptions. His EPA per target stands at a solid -0.25, showing how disruptive he is in coverage, and he's been a nightmare for receivers with an average separation of just 1.4 yards. His forced incompletions are at 22, and his missed tackle rate is a low 5.2%. That's the kind of lockdown coverage Detroit's secondary has been craving, especially with injuries to key players like Branch and Joseph. When healthy, this Lions defense has the potential to be a top-tier unit, and adding Surtain could push them over the edge. Now let's talk about the Broncos side of things. At 7-7, with a cap space of around $2.7 million and allowing roughly 220 yards per game through the air, Denver is clearly in a transitional phase. They're looking at extensions for players like Sutton and trying to figure out how to manage their cap, with Surtain's $22 million cap hit in 2026 being a significant chunk. A potential trade could free up about $18 million in cap space, giving Denver some flexibility, but it also exposes their secondary, which has been somewhat vulnerable this season. PFF grades at 62. 4 suggest that. The Broncos are aiming for a rebuild that isn't rushing, but could be slowed down by trading away one of their most valuable defensive assets. They're hoping to develop their young talent, but that can be a slow process, especially when the AFC West is getting more competitive with the Kansas City Chiefs still climbing and other teams making moves. For the Lions, this trade could be a game changer. Their current record stands at 9-4, and they're firmly in the playoff hunt, especially in the NFC North, where they're contending for the division title. Their secondary has been solid, but injuries to Branch and Joseph have created vulnerabilities, allowing about 210 yards per game through the air, which is still manageable but could become problematic against top-tier passing attacks. Surtain, along with young talents like Terrion Arnold, who boasts a PFF grade of 84. 5 could transform this secondary into a true lockdown unit. The Lions already have a capable group, but adding a player of Surtain's caliber could increase their pass defense efficiency by around 25%, cut down big plays by roughly 28%, and reduce passing yards allowed, making life difficult for opposing quarterbacks like Jefferson, who lit up the Lions for 180 yards in Week 5. Imagine the impact of Surtain covering the top receivers, Jefferson, and others, while guys like Ennis Rakestraw and the emerging stars in the secondary step up. It's not just about coverage, it's about elevating the entire defense. With Surtain's presence, the Lions could project around a 20% increase in interceptions, creating more turnovers and giving Goff even more opportunities to lead the offense down the field. The offense, led by Jared Goff, has been impressive this season, with EPA per pass of 0. 17 and nearly 900 passing yards. He's been playing some of his best football, and a secondary that can lock down opponents would only make that offense more dangerous. On the other side of the ball, the Lions' run defense has been improving, and with the secondary bolstered, they'll gain even more support. Historically, adding a player like Stephon Gilmore in 2019 transformed the Patriots' secondary, boosting coverage efficiency by over 20%. The Lions could see similar gains, reducing big plays, cutting down turnovers, and strengthening their ability to close out games. This all feeds into their goal of becoming a dominant force, especially in the playoffs. The move for certain could be the final piece that pushes Detroit from a good team to a true contender, one that can shut down high-powered offenses like the 49ers or Eagles, and make a deep playoff run. Looking at the bigger picture, this potential trade could have ripple effects across the league. For the Lions, acquiring Certain isn't just about adding another talented corner. It's about transforming their entire defense into a shutdown unit, capable of controlling games from the secondary and forcing turnovers in crucial moments. It's about pairing Certain with Goff in a way that makes the Lions' offense even more dangerous, knowing that their defense can hold the line and create opportunities. This synergy is what championship teams are built on, and Detroit's front office seems to recognize that. Now, let's consider the playoff implications. If Certain joins the Lions, his presence could be the X factor in postseason matchups against teams like the Rams, especially in neutral or snow-filled conditions. His ability to neutralize top receivers like Kupp and Jefferson would be invaluable in tight games, and it could help the Lions secure more shutouts or at least limit opponents, scoring to a minimum. The odds for Detroit to make a deep playoff push could see a significant boost, with sportsbooks lowering their Super Bowl odds from plus 1,200 to as low as plus 700, depending on how this move materializes. This could turn Detroit into one of the most feared defenses in the league, especially when facing high-flying offenses in December and January. For the Lions, the stakes are clear. A trade for Patrick Surtain would be a bold move, but one that could define their season and set them up for sustained success. The team's coaching staff and management are clearly eyeing a deep playoff run, and adding a player of Certain's caliber would send a message to the rest of the league that Detroit is not just here to compete, but to dominate. It's about creating a culture of excellence, a mindset that says they're serious contenders, and that they're willing to make the bold moves necessary to get there. And now, Detroit Lions fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential trade? Do you think it's a game changer? Would Certain make the Lions' defense unstoppable? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the future of this team. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for all the latest Detroit Lions news. This offseason is shaping up to be one of the most exciting in recent memory, and we're here to bring you every detail, every rumor, and every prediction as it unfolds. So keep the passion alive, Lions fans, because the best is yet to come.